Hello, welcome to the Green DigiHub podcast. Today I am the host, not Victor.
Yeah. Hello guys. Yeah, today we're going to be switching the roles a bit, so I'm going to be in the seat of the guests. So, yeah, hope you enjoy this episode.
And hope you're enjoying me being a podcast host, because this will become your reality very, very soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so hi Victor. Nice to see you again, but for the first time in a different,
Yeah.
very different role. So introduce yourself for the people who don't know you. What do you do and what inspires you?
Yeah, so what I do is I'm a marketing specialist. I work mainly in marketing, mainly with startups, but also some conventional businesses. And what inspires me every day is to do creative work. That's maybe something I truly enjoy and I wish to do in the future as well.
Okay, that's really nice. What type of creative work do you do?
Creating videos, creating like websites, marketing materials like graphic design. Sometimes I've even tried to do even motion design, but all types of visual things is the thing I do, and the things that inspire me to continue doing.
So more of a creative thing of yours.
Yeah. I think so, and also in my free time, because you asked me like what inspires me and what exactly I do. Also in my free time. It is my passion. We're going to talk later about that. But my passion is photography, mainly landscape photography. Recently, I've been into also some type of like character photography. And maybe that's what I am, a creative visual sort of person.
Okay, so yeah, I love the creative part of it. And do you have any startup experience?
Yeah, actually I had my own startup idea with which I participated in numerous startup competitions. I've been in the Able Weekend Activator, I've been in the Best Youth, Best Youth Startup Competition. I've also won the Red Bull Basement in 2024. It was a really peak experience for me because they sent me to Tokyo on the World Final.
Really?
Yeah, it was really nice. And then I went to Skinovation. I won a free ticket to attend. I had the chance to pitch in a ski train. So basically all the investors are piled up in the ski train and you're pitching in front of them, and it goes from like the base station to the peak. And it was a really fun experience. I met a lot of cool people there, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of like tech people and all of that. Then I also participated in the EIT Jumpstarter, which is something I really recommend for all young people, for young entrepreneurs. It's the accelerator of the European Union, one of the accelerators, because the European Union has a lot of them. That's basically what I did alone, just with a business plan, with a cool idea, pitching. And then I met Živko, who is the creator of Hiker BG, and I joined forces with him because I believe in his idea, because my idea was basically similar to this. So yeah, that's basically how my journey developed and continues until now.
That's really interesting. And what has that experience taught you? Because as we can all see, you have a rich experience in startups, in this kind of stuff. What did that teach you the most about yourself? And did that make you feel closer to yourself, or did that make you realize you want to do something else?
It's actually very important. This is the most important thing I learned is that when you have an idea that you believe in, you have to stick with it. And also this idea has to be some type of thing that is part of your character. This is, I think, very important, because I see a lot of people that are jumping between startups and ideas, and they're not really going into something like all in. And I think because I love nature, I love the mountains, I love creative work, and I was trying to sort of blend everything together. And hopefully it works out. I mean, I'm still in the process. I can't say that I'm at an end point, like I've done anything crazy, but I think with the developments until now, I'm very happy. I've met super cool people along the way. So yeah, my main advice is to just stick with one idea and try to be flexible around it.
And how did you meet those cool people that you talk about? Because for startups, especially when you want to create something, you need people.
Yeah.
And how did you meet those people that helped you and kind of shaped you into what you're doing now?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to participate in a lot of startup competitions, events, accelerators. Just go out there, present yourself, present your idea. And also just another method is to just research on the internet interesting people or relevant people, follow the news, what's going on in the startup ecosystem, and just reach out to people even on the internet. Like that's basically how I met Živko or Maiko, who is the person behind AvMap, which became part of Hiker BG. So just following the news, reaching out to people who I think are interesting, and being proactive. And life has a strange way of connecting you to the right people if you're just being active. And also another thing is you need to differentiate yourself sort of from other people. So that's why I'm saying be active. Like if you're going on lectures, if you're going on competitions, you need to be enthusiastic. You need to take part in whatever it's going. You just need to be very active, very bright.
Put yourself out there.
Yeah, put yourself out there, and things are gonna come into place, sort of.
Yeah, and now since we're on the Green DigiHub podcast, tell us about that. How did you start? The idea, the process, what you learned? Yeah,
well, Green DigiHub is a platform co-funded by the European Union, and it's basically about teaching young entrepreneurs how to build their own startups using AI and keeping in mind the sustainability policies of the European Union. Also to note, it's for people who have not heard what a startup is, so that's very important. So many people may be thinking about their own business, but they don't know where to start. They have no experience, so this is basically for those types of people. And I find it actually really inspiring to work on such a project because I really like to see the fire in the eyes of people, let's say. So let's say yesterday we presented the project in a high school in Sofia. And when you see the students become enlightened, let's say, about this subject, this also brings you a lot of joy. So this is basically about the platform and about the podcast that I decided to create, which is part of the project. It was really funny because we had to make like 5 video interviews with entrepreneurs, and they were mainly people from the best youth startup competition. And it was a Google Meet, but it was super cool, like the conversations, the things that they were talking about. And I told myself, man, I need to do something more about this. So I decided to invite them over for a podcast. I said, hey guys, do you want to record something like a podcast? And they were like, sure, that's gonna be cool. And so basically I already filmed, this is the 58th episode.
Really?
Yeah, for 1 year. So if you're calculating this is like 1 episode per week. I mean,
that's a great pace.
I mean, some weeks I have maybe between 1 and 5 episodes. Other weeks I have 0. So basically, it's whatever happens. But at the end, I wasn't planning to have an average of 1 episode per week.
Yeah, well, it's not really easy to plan because, you have to contact the guests that you want to invite. It's a lot of preparation.
It looks like it's a lot of preparation, but it's to me it's like second nature. Like when I meet new people and they're cool, and I'm like, hey, do you want to come over and talk about your thing you're doing on the podcast? And usually that's what's very surprising to me, is that people just accept, like, even though the podcast is not big, like I have like 80 subscribers and the most watched videos have like 300 views. But despite all of this, like, people come, we have nice conversations and a nice environment in the Faculty of Economics and Business Administration. And to me, that's the most important thing, because you create some kind of connection with these people. With some people you become friends, with some you become business partners, with some you work on some project, with others you are just potential business partners. So I think these are the benefits of starting your own podcast. And also to elaborate again on this, it's very important when you start to make such projects like a podcast or a business or something, to not have the main goal to be popular or to earn a lot of money or whatever, but the main goal should be like to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then the other things come as a collateral, let's say. Yeah.
No, because if you wait for you to become popular right at the start, you lose interest very quickly. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And you seem to do like very different things, you said hiking, the startup ecosystem, the podcast, the Green DigiHub thing that you're doing. What is the difference between a hobby and a passion for you?
Yeah, I think it's very important in today's capitalist, let's say, world where everything is, you hear the buzzwords all the time, like optimization, profit maxing, all of that. And people are very, let's say, when they hear the word hobby, it's a little bit of a bad word if you think about it. Like, what do you do in your free time? Like hobby, like, I think that people should make a very clear distinction between a hobby and a passion. Because a passion is something that may be also related in a way to your work and to your, let's say, spiritual and personal growth. And I'm going to give you an example to what I'm talking about so it doesn't sound like mumbo jumbo. Basically, let's say a hobby is you like to play football or board games. It's something that is just for relaxation, socialization, but you don't really get better at football, at least at this age, of course, or you don't really get better at, you get better, but you're not going to become a professional footballer. You're not going to do something, you're not going to, play in the World Cup or something. And the passion is something that is, you grow with it, you become part of some kind of communities. And a concrete example is, let's say, photography or, creating videos. Like, for me, that's a passion. And in this passion, I am growing, I'm meeting a lot of new people. And those people could help you out even in your professional life, in your personal life. So, yeah, for me, that's very important to have a passion. And also one thing about the passion is all of the people who I've interviewed in this podcast here, they definitely have a passion. So they definitely work on something that they feel inspired to work on. And they don't necessarily see the financial results directly. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So a lot of people, especially let's say IT people or maybe people of the arts or something, they're working on stuff they're creating, but they're not creating like, we're going to create this app and we're going to become millionaires or something. They're just doing it because they feel some kind of like a passion and inspiration to create something awesome. So I think this is very important for everybody who is like starting their journey to find a passion and work on it and develop themselves in this thing. So yeah, hope that sort of answers your question.
So you're saying that the difference between a hobby and a passion is basically that with the hobby you do it without expecting to grow, but with passion there is this possibility of growth and working towards it. Yeah,
absolutely. And also with passion, it sort of occupies your thoughts and your energy a lot more than a hobby, because let's say today I'm playing board games with my friends. I'm not going to be thinking about it throughout the day. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be thinking like, or let's say playing computer games or watching football or drinking beer with your friends or something. You're not, maybe some people actually have this thought to occupy their minds throughout the day, but it's something that is more casual, let's say, the hobby thing. While the passion, it's sort of, you're thinking throughout the day, you're finding ideas. Maybe your Instagram feed is filled with these types of ideas. So let's say, like, I'm also passionate about startups and entrepreneurship, and I'm listening to podcasts when I'm doing the chores, or I'm reading articles, or I'm meeting such people. So this is maybe the difference,
Yeah, something that drives you throughout your days, weeks, and
yeah, exactly. And work, and the distinction between work and passion. Work is something very concrete and very, like, okay, you're doing the video editing or the coding of something, you're earning the money, that's the work. But the passion is something that is more encompassing, I guess. And it's best when passion and work sort of blend together. And I believe that if people are consistent, things would work out in the future. But it's very important to be consistent, to not, sometimes you feel down, it's actually a journey. You feel ups and downs. But I think in the end, if a person is consistent, he can blend his passion into his work. And also, to note something else, I've seen also a lot of very young people, like we're talking about high school students, who have found both their passion and their work, and that's actually very crazy at such a young age to find something like that. But
yeah, I can agree totally with you, because at Mentor the Young, the mentorship program that I was part of, the season just ended last week, I met so many high school students that were like, knew what they wanted to do with their life, and they were taking real action, and they were actually very good at it.
Yeah.
And it's so inspiring, because for me, for example, at high school, I knew what I wanted to do with my life. My plans changed like 180% degrees.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really inspiring seeing such young people know what they want to do.
Yeah. But also, if you're feeling like you're behind, let's say, because a lot of young people, maybe this is an epidemic for our generation, to feel behind, like, oh, everybody's found their the dream jobs or whatever, I'm so behind. I actually think it's pretty normal, and also it's not a guarantee for somebody that you're looking at. I mean, I've also seen friends who had their life very stable for like several years, and then something happens. Maybe they get laid off from their job, maybe they don't find a passion for their job, or maybe their health suffers from their job, because that's also, you never know. Like, you may be working a very cool job that you like, but if it causes you a lot of stress, a lot of nerves and stuff, I mean, life is really convoluted, so basically you don't have to be so firm with it, I guess. I mean, just chill is maybe but what I'm trying to say is, like, you could be like 30 and you can still find your passion and everything in 30. And can I also give some examples?
Yeah.
As far as I know, like they give this example very often, like Harrison Ford. He was a carpenter before he became an actor. And he never studied acting or something like that. So it's absolutely possible to find your passion and everything else a little bit later in life. But another important thing is, by the way, it's really strange when you're in a podcast and you're talking. Sometimes I feel like I'm very talkative. But anyways, that's the point of the podcast. So,
yeah.
What I was gonna say is, it's very important to, when you're feeling down, like everybody feels ups and downs, like I said, but to never sort of give up totally. Like, that's why I love to have a lot of things going on with my life, because if one thing fails, I can jump into the next thing. Or maybe, let's say I'm having a week in which nothing happened, and then on the weekend I'm just gonna go hiking and doing landscape photography, and I'm gonna be super happy with it. So it's very important to just stay overall positive, like overall, like if you have like a week, okay, maybe Monday and Wednesday are bad days, but let's say the other days you have to have something good happening on with your life. And yeah, that's what I would give it as an advice.
Yeah, that's a really good advice, actually. I totally agree with you. And how do you find inspiration for your ideas? Because as we can see, you're a really active person.
For the inspiration part, I think it's very important to actually read a lot of books, listen to like podcasts, watch movies, travel to other countries, meet different people, just in all of these fields, be active. And I know some people don't like reading books, then focus on other stuff that brings you information. And also very important to bring information that is sort of valuable in your mind, let's say, because there's a lot of information, on the internet, and a lot of people are just scrolling Instagram reels, or maybe they're watching some influencers who only talk about like traveling, but in a shallow way or something. And it's important to bring some kind of depth, intellectual depth to your life, and that inspires you. Also, I've heard this method because once people graduate, they stop, they stop pursuing intellectual work, let's say. And I think it's very important to find a topic that inspires you, and you start reading about it, and you start being a sort of geek about it. And for me, actually, in the last year and a half, maybe, this was history. I started being very interested in history. I don't know why. I just grabbed one book. It was actually Lawrence of Arabia. I just thought it looked really cool. It was in the adventure section. And when I started reading it, it was more of a historical book, actually, rather than a purely adventurous one. And from there on, I just went into the rabbit hole of reading about history, geopolitics, economics, and watching also YouTube videos about this, like why some countries are rich, why some others are poor, what causes an empire to fall. I don't know. I got interested in like ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, the Habsburg Empire, all of these. I'm reading about them currently. So yeah.
Yeah, I had the same passion in 7th grade actually with history. I was so obsessed with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally get it.
Also, another funny thing about history is I'm literally jumping between periods. So let's say today I may be reading about ancient Greece, and on the next day I may be reading about, let's say, I don't know, the British Empire or something like that. So. Yeah.
Well, to freshen up your mind a little bit.
Yeah. Do you know what else I wanted to share with you about the ideas? I don't know. Have you heard about Naval Ravikant?
Actually, I don't think so.
Yeah, he's an investor, but he's also a startup entrepreneur. He said something like, if you feel some kind of inspiration for a subject, just go and research it. And what he meant by that is like, let's say, if you're on the bus and you're thinking about, let's say, AI or automations or something, you should research this topic immediately when you have the chance. And this is actually very important because I realized how many times I've been walking on the street and I've been thinking about some kind of topic, and then when I come back on my computer, I just forget about it. I don't research it or whatever. And I realized that the faster you are in researching some inspiration, the more how should I say it, the faster this idea develops into something material.
Yeah, this is a really interesting point of view, and yeah, I really like it. And lastly, what tip would you give to young entrepreneurs?
So maybe the whole conversation was a good tip, but so everybody's really, really different. Also, I need to be thankful for the chance to have such a podcast with so many different people and to meet so many different people. And that's what I actually realized that's very important for young people. Because everybody is so different. Everybody likes different stuff, different inspiration, and it's very important to try to find what clicks for you. And because I remember like 2 or 3 years ago, everybody wanted to become an IT and learn programming languages. And I knew a lot of people who weren't passionate about it. They were like in it for the trend, for the money, because everybody's like, IT, they get a lot of salaries. I mean, that's also a good strategy, but I think that it's very important to okay, you can also do the, let's say, the trendy thing, but you should always explore yourself, like what interests you, what topics you'd like to learn more about. And yeah, my main tip is to have some kind of individuality, some kind of personality, some kind of special thing about you, you know, that people say, that was the guy with the hiking app, or that was the guy that paints, I don't know, paintings on the wall, or that's the guy who made a robot that does something awesome, you know. So there has to be something specific about you so that you become memorable in society. And you become more scarce as a resource, if you will. And yeah, so to sum it up, just try to find an individuality and something that inspires you, and things will come into place eventually.
And as you mentioned earlier, discipline and not giving up, consistency.
Yeah, just... Also, another thing, lastly, I want to add, to be optimistic as a whole in your life. Because, like I said, when I was reading history, you realize that most of the time, actually, people were quite miserable because they lived in very bad conditions. Like, there were like diseases, wars, all of that. And now I'm thinking, like, we're living in like peaceful times and there are no diseases. I mean, yeah, the economy is hard, like, you know, prices and, you know, job unemployment and all of that, like, that's a real issue. But all in all, you're not gonna starve to death. You're not gonna die out of a disease that's like a plague or something. So all in all, if you think about it, like, just be optimistic that everything's fine. I mean, Bulgaria is in the European Union. We're a very safe country, and I don't know. I mean, that's also something to be optimistic about. So just chill, you know, be happy about it and find something you love and do it, and things are gonna turn out good, I think.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to have you as a guest in to have you in this position in the podcast, because you're always in the podcast, but to have you as a guest. And thank you so much for having me as a host. It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure for me as well. I'm sorry if I'm being a little bit random with the topics and we're jumping, but that was the idea of the podcast, to sort of explore a lot of different topics. So yeah, thank you as well for agreeing to be the role of the host.
Well, I will take this role on very soon in my own podcast, Beyond Talent. So
okay, we wait for that. Yeah.
Yep, be ready for that, and thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, maybe I can also come as a guest in your podcast as well.
Why not?
Yeah, it would be fun. Okay, thank you very much.